Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Syncretism Society Virtual Academy. My name is Mehmet, and today's lesson is lesson 4 of learning the Astrological Decans. If you already haven't checked out the previous 3, I suggest you do so. They're in the archives of my channel on the Syncretism Society. In the first video, we touched up on what decans are on a general basis and how it works within the chart. And then in the second video, I concentrated on the decans of the spring signs. And in the third video, I concentrated on the decans of the summer signs. And in this video, we're going to concentrate on the autumn signs of Libra, Scorpio, and Sagittarius. So without further ado, I'll share my screen and we'll get into that straight away. So bear with me for a moment while I find that. Excuse me. Just going to move this up slightly and we'll get straight into it. So Libra decans, Libra first decan from September the 23rd to October the 3rd is from 0 degrees to 10 degrees of Libra, and that decan is ruled by Venus. So let's go. The first Venus decan of Libra produces the most peace-loving aestheticians in the whole zodiac. These people need to come into contact with the finer things in life, and they are highly aware of every imaginable sort of relation to their fellow men and women. That said, in spite of their strong you orientation, they can and will at times become very unbalanced and quarrelsome. It is a great dilemma in the lives of the first decan Libras, how much to rely on other people, and on the other hand, how much to go on their own. Second decan of Libra from October the 4th to October the 13th, and that's from 10 degrees Libra to 20 degrees Libra, and that the planetary ruler of that is Uranus. That can also be Saturn as well, because that decan corresponds with the air sign of Aquarius. So although on this slide it says Uranus, that can be both Uranus and Saturn. But I think because it's based more on the triplicity system, which is modern, that's the reason why they've put Uranus there. But let's carry on. The second Aquarius decan of Libra, with the rays from Uranus/Saturn, might be termed the deep Libras. They are immense in the working of the human mind and very fascinated by the themes of social interaction. They are often drawn to higher learning in the most abstract sense. Romantically, they can be paradoxal, while they strive to find the perfect relationship where everything is shared. Time tends to reveal that they need a whole lot more space and solitude than they imagined. So obviously you can see there, so for example, if your sun was in the first 10 degrees of Libra, you will be kind of a bit more of more of a relationship and loving type of Libra, because obviously that decan is ruled by Venus, whereas if you see the second decan of Libra with the rulership of Uranus and Saturn, is a bit more of a mental kind of Libra, and someone who's, like it says, a bit more deeper, because it concentrates on the planets of Saturn and Uranus. Uranus is about thinking outside the box, and Uranus is about the firmament, the mind. And obviously Saturn is about lesson and structure and discipline. So you can see how the two different decans play out. One is a bit more, I would say the first one is a bit more benefic, whereas the second one has a bit more of a malefic energy, with Saturn being there in the second decan rulership as well. So let's go to the third decan of Libra, which is from October the 14th to October the 23rd, and is from 20 degrees Libra to 30 degrees Libra, and is ruled by Mercury. And obviously this connects to Gemini, which it will say as we go on. The decan of Libra with the rays from Mercury is the most restless of Librans. The natural polarity and ambivalence of Libra, especially romantically, is heightened here. They may live their entire life in search of the elusive, perfect romance. Gemini, Decan, Libras are great with people, intuitive and highly logical. This is one of the most versatile of all the decans in the zodiac. They can charm the beard off a rabbi. They live for communication and more than others. So yeah, just as an overall roundup for all three decans, you can see that the first decan, which is obviously ruled by Venus, like I said, it's a bit more loving, bit more to do with pleasure and partnerships, whereas the second two Libran decans are a bit more mental. Obviously, all of Libra is mental because it's an air sign in general. But when we're breaking it down in relation to the decans, with Uranus and Mercury being the rulers of two of the second decan and the third decan, it's a lot more mind and mental orientated. So moving on now, we're going to concentrate on the decans of Scorpio. So let me just find the slide. So here we go. Scorpio first decan from October the 24th to October the 2nd, and is ruled by Pluto or Mars. Again, because in classical astrology, the rulership of Scorpio is Mars, but obviously in modern astrology, it's Pluto and Mars. So you can also add Mars to that first decan as well. So October the 24th to October the 2nd, from 0 degrees to 10 degrees of Scorpio, ruled by Pluto / Mars. The first pure Scorpio decan of Scorpio influence is intensely, let me start that again. Sorry about that. The first pure decan of Scorpio influence is the intensity decan of above all. Dramatic feelings of either approval or rejection strike the hearts of these people at the very moment they encounter something new, and they seldom let reason change their mind. For these people, all experience will in some way relate to the highs and lows of life, pain, joy, and death, love, and general mesmerization. They can be cool, collected, and seemingly unaffected on the outside, yet beneath is a steaming locomotive of feeling, purpose, and desire. So, not just with this decan, but all the first decans of all signs are, you could say, like the purest of each sign, because each first decan will be like, for example, no matter what sign it is, so like a Scorpio who is born, whose sun is in the first 10 degrees of Scorpio will be a Scorpio, whereas the second decan of Scorpio, you'll be a Scorpio Pisces. So always, if your sun is in the first 10 degrees of a sign, you'll be very strongly connected to that sign, because the planetary ruler of that decan coincides with that sign as well. Whereas the other planetary decans, their planetary rulerships come from the other signs with the same elements. So Scorpio, the second decan, November the 3rd to November the 12th, from 10 degrees Scorpio to 20 degrees, ruled by Neptune, and also you could add Jupiter to that as well. The second Pisces decan of Scorpio gives subtle minds and a plethora of all feelings imaginable. These people seek what is real and authentic, and will sacrifice worldly comforts and prestige for what they believe in. Cunning and mysterious, they will not hesitate to manipulate people if necessary. They are very romantic and seductive, and thrive in the atmosphere of hidden meaning and elusive hints. So yeah, I would say, again, out of those two decans, the first Scorpio decan, again, is a bit more malefic than the second decan, because the first decan, the planetary rulers would be Pluto and Mars, and they're both very, very malefic energies, quite harsh and intense. Whereas maybe the second not maybe, it is, should I say. The second decan of Scorpio is ruled by Neptune and Jupiter, which are a bit more Christ-like, if that makes sense. The third decan of Scorpio, which is where my sun was. I was born on the 19th of November, so this third decan correlates with myself. So Scorpio third decan from November the 13th to November the 22nd, from 20 degrees of Scorpio to 30 degrees, ruled by the moon. Obviously, because this decan relates to Cancer. Here in the third and last lunar decan of Scorpio, the influence will produce people of great emotional integrity, trusting every feeling they have and seldom willing to compromise, at least any cold, dead reason. They have great drive and willpower, and if they believe in a cause and can overcome potential feelings of inferiority, at heart, they want dramatic emotional transformation and a partner to connect with intimately and deeply. So moving on from this, the last and final sign we're going to concentrate on in this episode is the decans of Sagittarius. So the first decan of Sagittarius is from November the 23rd to December the 2nd, and that is from 0 degrees Sagittarius to 10 degrees Sagittarius, and the planetary ruler, as it says, ruled by Jupiter. So the first Jupiter decan of Sagittarius is typically a nonconformist who goes on to become a respected citizen within academic or social responsibility. These people are adventurous, positive, and very direct. In fact, rather tactless. They're lovers of action, but more than often have high intellectual, political, and artistic ambitions. They are sweeping, broad learners, and youthful, eternal students, yet might also be the dogmatic teacher or preacher. Quite interesting. I have two planets in that decan. I have Mercury and Uranus conjunct on 8 degrees of Sagittarius. So although I'm a Scorpio sun sign, I have a lot of Sagittarian energy. I actually have planets in all three of these decans. So this relates to me quite a lot. So Sagittarius second decan from December the 3rd to December the 12th, from 10 degrees of Sagittarius to 20 degrees, and is ruled by Mars. This second Aries decan of Sagittarius completely needs challenge and discovery, and may be the most naturally frank and lacking in artifice of all zodiac decans. Headstrong and brave, they quickly lose interest in whatever fails to inspire them. If these people aren't sports people, they probably have some other similar channel for the release of their great spiritual physical energy. They are a very perfect example of the soldier of the mind and spirit, if there is such thing. So yeah, these second decan Sagittarians will be a bit more, maybe you could say, energetic and a bit more brash in the way they are, because the planetary ruler of that decan is Mars. Mars is a very explosive. Mars is about action, whereas the first one is ruled by Jupiter. So that's more about wisdom and philosophy and religion. So then you can see how they differ. Again, the first decan is a bit more of a benefic energy, whereas the second decan, the planetary ruler, is a bit more of a malefic energy. And yeah, so yeah, I have Jupiter and the South Node conjunct on 16 degrees of Sagittarius. So the third and final decan of Sagittarius is from December the 13th to December the 21st, and is from 20 degrees of Sagittarius to 30 degrees, and is ruled by the sun. Here in the Leo decan of Sagittarius, we have the showman or woman, one who is always on the lookout for another adventure or spontaneous experience. Their integrity and pride is great, and still they seem to always stumble into the pitfalls of excessive risk-taking, rash decisions, and impulsive action. Quite a few gamblers have Sagittarian Leo influences. They need to aim far and high, and will beyond any doubt experience many great letdowns in life because of their sheer magnitude of their ambitions and dreams. So it's very interesting how it talks about their risk takers and their gamblers. And I guess this kind of relates to Leo and the sun being the ruler of that decan, because the sun is very expressive and wants to show itself, kind of no matter what, it wants to be the center of attention. So I'll stop sharing my screen. I hope you guys enjoyed that and find it useful. Like I always say, if you ever have any questions, feel free to inbox me via the Virtual Academy. I'll get back to you as soon as possible. So the next lesson in relation to the astrological decans will be concentrating on the last 3 signs and the winter season. So that will be Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. I hope you enjoyed this video. Until next time, peace out.